Okay, welcome to it. Saturday morning. Hopefully you got your coffee as I do. We got some really cool comments to go over. A lot of comments on this episode, so really cool stuff, and a lot of input from other people and everything. So that's really neat, and I really like that, the fact that we can share information or experiences and whatnot. So we're gonna go ahead and read through the comments again. If your comment wasn't read, it could be the fact of after the show, or just for some reason it was the moderators pulled it, which happens. I just kind of do this right from the basic screen, not signed in or anything, so I'm seeing it as you would see it. So I can't really go in there behind the scenes and look and see if there's anything that for some reason that somebody got forgotten. So anyway, here we go. Awesome to see a lot of comments, a lot of stuff, feedback from one of my favorite channels out there, for sure, that sets the bar pretty high in quality. Keeping it, straight up with you, is Brett and 9mm USA. You guys want to see really good content, that's the channel to hit up. It says right here, thanks so much, brother, for the shout out, and you are quite welcome. And feedback on my channel. You always keep it real, and I know all of us appreciate you greatly, Beretta Senior. I do appreciate that from you guys. Thank you. We got one from Lion Quest Fitness. Fun show, JW. I got a laugh about the keyboard warrior comment. Yes. It's just, that stems from a lot of things, like, go out and experience it. Go out and actually do it. It's like you can read all you want about something, but actually going out and applying, the knowledge and being able to do it for real, that's a whole nother story. On this channel, we have definitely surpassed, although some of the content is no longer public available on the channel here, but we have long ago, there's like 1,000 videos plus that we have done at one time or another that was actually published out on the channel, that myself, obviously being the pretty much the host of the channel, and actually going out there and doing stuff. I was just actually talking with a buddy of mine today that it was like, thinking back at all the stuff that we had filmed, looking way back and thinking, some of you that go back with the channel, far back, taking a Beretta 92, throwing it in motor oil, flour and sugar, and some people even go way back when we threw a 1911 in the mud and shot it in the rain, and just experience it. Go out and do it. Don't read about it. Anybody can read an article and just regurgitate it back out there. But hey, go out and experience it and actually get some time under your belt. So, and then back to Lion Quest Fitness's comment here as we segued out of that. But my wife let out a yell of agreement about Roadhouse. Yes. I'm definitely, I grew up with all that stuff. All the movies from the 80s and the 90s, that was when I was out there, as a young kid renting all these stuff from the videotape stores and stuff, VHS and everything, that was the cool stuff that was out. To me, these days, there's just stuff you don't redo. You can't, Roadhouse has probably got to be Patrick Swayze's best movie. There's a lot of good stuff he did, but man, Roadhouse was like and to redo that, it was like kind of like, look, they redid, what'd they redo that? Red Dawn. That, I didn't even go watch that. That's just, I'm sorry, I couldn't bring myself to watching it. All right, I had to pull my Model 10 snub out of the safe. Great time on Saturday morning. Thank you. You're welcome. All of you, this is what you make up the show here. So it's this show is you, and without you, we wouldn't have the show. Jeffrey Richardson, good morning. Love seeing the table candy. Always a great surprise. We do have some table candy for you this time, and this is actually pertaining to stuff that we got comments here from Beretta 9mm USA, which is a really good comments, and actually, stuff that he touched on, which is really important. I agree with you. This is from Beretta 9mm USA again here. I agree with you, Bat Jack, about the Hillary Hole Smith & Wesson revolvers. Yeah, I mean, the Hillary, the what he's talking about, the key lock, it's not a deal breaker for me. I can live with it. I'm not happy about it, but I can live with it. Those things don't bother me. That's not going to stop me from buying one. Nor is a sleeved barrel. I know it's kind of everybody just they just take it to yeah, I know. I mean, it's never going to be those revolvers from the 60s, the 70s. They're just never going to be that. Unfortunately, those days are gone. But if we test out the revolver on our channel and it's excellent on its range trips, then I want to keep it. Hillary Hole or not, I am talking about my 686 plus 586 and my Performance Center revolver, no flutes on a cylinder. Videos are up on these and all our Smith & Wesson revolvers. Again, keeping it real as Bat Jack does. All the best. That's from Beretta Senior. I do appreciate that, and and I know that people have had issues with some of the revolvers. I've heard stories, canted barrels that didn't line up with the frame. I've heard of that a lot, actually. I never had one myself that did that, but it's sad to hear things like that from a great company like Smith & Wesson, especially. Hopefully they can learn from stuff, but unfortunately, and it was somebody that said it, and it was a really good point. I don't think that key lock is going to go away, because now that's a safety thing that was implemented, and if they go back and remove that, you could see the can of worms that's going to open up. So unfortunately, I think we're stuck with that. Joe, my man Joe, swig of coffee for Joe. Good morning, JW. Love that you mentioned Kevin D. I'm older than you, and I can remember watching him with my dad in the 70s on the show Emergency. That's right, I forgot he is actually in that show. I never really watched that show myself. Obviously, that was way before me. But yeah, I always remembered Kevin D. and like obviously Roadhouse. I thought you'd be bigger. And you watch somebody's going to take that out of context, and I'll be some kind of no. But he's also in Cutting Cards, that episode that we've mentioned a couple of times these last shows. Cutting Cards of Tales from the Crypt, alongside with another great Lance Hendrickson. Really good stuff there. All right, Beretta 9mm USA says, hey, Bat Jack, you were actually half right on the commander size frame rails, because Spardella and Cabot Arms make their commanders with full-size rails. See, and I got to admit right there, when I know you guys are talking about that when in your videos, and I will be totally transparent here, I didn't know what you were really referring to. Until I realized that the rails were, and then that's just me being just kind of a brain dead on that, just kind of like, But yeah, and looking back, I actually went back and watched some of your videos again back on that, and you guys are talking about it, and now it makes a lot of sense to me. Now I'm kind of in tune with that. Like I said, I mean, I'm definitely not a I don't know. I'm not like an authority on this stuff. I just know. I mean, I like the old Colts. I'm an old collector of this stuff. But yeah, when it came down to a lot of that stuff, that's why you guys are my go-to channel for the information. But yeah, so anyway, on the full-size rails, you're half right. The rest of the 1911 Commanders, including Wilson Combat, use shorter frame rails under Commander size 1911s. Currently in 2024, PS Wilson Combat 1911s are at the top with less bare government size custom 1911s. All right, so that's kind of cool. I also love my Nighthawk full-size government, but I only have one 1911 to judge the Nighthawk. Anyone looking to get custom 1911 Commander, in my experience, has to be a Wilson Combat or a Spardella Arms custom 1911 Commander. Young Beretta and I agree on this. We own several Wilson Combats at the time. At this time, they are dang near 100% reliable. I own two Spardella 1911s, and they're awesome. Check out those videos. All the best, Beretta Senior. And you know, that's another thing too. Another reason why I do kind of like to use their videos as information, because they literally do own all these. You know, they've had them in their hands. They shot them, be it if they still have them or they moved them on from the collection, like most of us do. You know, that you can't beat the experience that, you know, they've firsthand had it, shot it, used it, you know, so speaks volumes there, you know, and that would go for anybody that, you know, would take the time to do that. So Crazy Scotsman, great show, brother. Nothing wrong with learning something while on camera. Glad to see you still have your first Smith. I would kick myself if I ever sold mine. Yes. But yeah, you know what? I mean, learning stuff on camera, I think it's, you know, I mean, look, I wanted to do, I specifically wanted to check that on camera because, you know what, I mean, that just, it's like, I could have been, I mean, the way I looked at it, it's like, yeah, you could sit there and go, well, I could be wrong, so I don't want to make sure, I don't want to look like a buffoon on the video or something and then do that. No, I mean, I'm not like a professional virtuoso at this stuff, never claimed to be. So, you know, I've got nothing to hide. I got no shame in, like, you know, saying, hey, look, I was wrong about this. I mean, which I fully admit, I always thought that the frame was the same. I didn't think it changed at all. I thought all they did was shorten the barrel and slide. But apparently, they did more than that. So, there you have it. Mick says, morning all. I've never owned a custom 1911, but out of about 15 or so I've owned, the Bull Armory 1911 is probably my favorite. Very tight, very smooth, an excellent fit and finish, excellent value. I don't think you need to pay thousands and thousands to get quality. Thanks for another great show. Cheers. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. All right. Sean Lee, great show as always. I just got the opportunity to pick up a Smith 6-inch 586 no dash. Oh, that's cool. To add to the collection. Love seeing your stuff out on the table each week. We do appreciate that, Sean. Nice. Congrats on the pickup. That's a really slick pickup. The 586 is a really nice Smith. Absolutely. All right. TGH Hog. So, that's what it says. Never get rid of that Smith 6-shot snubby. That's a keeper. Yes, I definitely I would find it really hard to try to part with it. Plus I wouldn't get much for it. I'm pretty sure. So it's got to stick around. All right, John Crane says Commanders have shorter barrel slides and different recoil springs, shorter spring guide rods and barrel bushings. And a different feed ramp angle as compared to full-size 1911s. So there you go, some more information out there on that. Slimfire says, awesome radio talk, JW, and thanks for answering our questions. I have to agree with Beretta 9mm on the Lust Bear. Know that I own one and had to save up a while to get it. but it was well worth it. Hope you have a great Easter Sunday. Thanks, Slim. Yes. And that's cool because I remember when you picked yours up, and that's what it is. You save up for these things, and you get it. And I feel like when you have to do something like that, especially for a lot of working class stiffs or people that are on fixed incomes now, that that spent their time at the grind in the trenches. When you got to save up and work up for something like that, there's a whole nother meaning to it. And actually, that's what this kind of shows a little bit about for me, speaking of from my experience on doing something like that. Beretta 9mm USA has a response to your comment there. He says, I have one of my Les Bear 1911s on today, Saturday, March 30th, 2024. It is the Les Bear Super Tac from 2018, I believe. Anyway, I still think Les Bear is at the top with Wilson and Nighthawk. I don't think you can go wrong with those three Beretta seniors that respond to that. So, all right, and this is from my brother O-Rods over there in California, IA. This is love the thumbnail, brother. Crime is a disease, and I'm the cure. Hope all is going well with you, my friend, and everything is going well. That's awesome. I did wonder if anybody was gonna catch the thumbnail and get where that was coming from on that. So obviously somebody did. And as most of you know, I am a movie junkie when it comes to a lot of stuff, so in romance with it all. So if you had missed that or didn't understand what that thumbnail is all about, that is from Cobra Stallone. And yes, I actually have the poster in my movie room where I watch all my films and stuff. I actually have the poster in the background. It's one of my favorite posters. Really cool. It's a really nice poster too, but always loved that whole thing. I remember going into the video stores when I was younger and seeing the cardboard cut out of that in the front of the place, and I was like, I always thought, man, I wish I could have one of those. I really do. I would so put that on display. All right. So actually, that's what I was going to talk to you guys about. I own a custom 45. This is my custom 45 that I own, that I obviously saved up and had to make the sacrifices and pay the money for it. It is a Wilson Combat. This is the one that I have, and the question is, it's like, are they worth it or whatever? I think so. I'm happy with it. I don't regret buying it. I'm definitely not going to get rid of it because it's just they cost too damn much, and I would not be able to probably won't be able to just go out and buy another one, just for the hell with it kind of deal. So anyway, for me, there was a lot of things for me when purchasing something like this. I'm actually glad that I spent some time in the game for a while. 15 years of working gun shops, counters, handling, fondling, shooting different 1911s. And I'm definitely, and where I come from, like for me, I'm a collector. I like collecting the old Colts. That's just me. So I'm not really big on the custom stuff. I don't know. Definitely not. I shouldn't. I mean, somebody would ask me about it. I'm like, I'm not really the person to ask about them because I really don't have much to refer to. I know for what I felt for me was when I did actually pick one of this up. It was actually this one. I picked it up in a shop, which is a big mistake. In a sense, because after owning a bunch of different ones and shooting a bunch of different other ones and and checking them out, and nothing wrong with a $500-600 one, and I mean I'm not definitely considering that cheap. I don't consider it cheap. I never thought that $500 was throwaway money, but I checked this out and I said, wow, that's really I for me respected and admired and appreciated the fit and finish of this thing. I really did, especially the muzzle and everything and the blended magazine well, and all the upgrades and everything. But yet I chose something that was still, it's still got the upgrades, you know, the serrations front and rear angled slightly, but they still have the kind of the more traditional look. I really do like the flat top serrations and everything. I thought that's a really a pretty slick look. You know, front strap checkering, magazine well, and everything like that. Not much of an ambi safety guy, even though I am left-handed. I actually, but this one is low profile, so I do like it. I'm not a fan of that big, I guess some people call it the gas pedal style. I'm not a fan of those. I don't like those big, wide, extended ones. And I'm a big fan of their slide stop. I think that their little slide stop with the slight ledge on it is actually pretty slick. I like that. And you know, as speaking of not a fan of extended stuff, but they do, I know, but they do have a ever so slightly extended magazine release that I have grown accustomed to. So when I grab one of my other ones that I shoot, and I know it kind of sounds like, oh, one of your other ones. No, when I grab like one of my nice, you know, older Colts or something, I shoot it, and because I shoot those quite often, it's usually my favorite go-to. I do notice the difference. I do. I can tell that, you know what, this is a nice feature. I will almost want to go through and actually pick up a couple of those. I think he calls it his tactical length magazine release, and actually install them on a couple of my shooters that I take to the range often. So there's stuff on it that I really like, but it took me, you know, some years and owning and shooting and collecting some of the other 1911s to really appreciate something like this that I would, you know, like to have. Although, you know, the traditionalist and the the collector in me would want just a, you know, if I could only, you know, they said, hey, you got to choose one, I'd probably still just have my old Colt, you know, Series 70 something, you know, basic GI model. I'd still have to go with something like that. But this is nice. This is definitely pretty slick. And once I kind of got a hold of one and checked it out and kind of fondled it and worked the slide, I was like, oh yeah. So it made me appreciate it. Plus, they're definitely not cheap. And so having to save up, work for it, and pay it off and everything, do that kind of jazz, it does grow. It makes you really appreciate something like that, especially when you spend your hard-earned cash on it. So, but yeah, that, you know, definitely, you know, it's going all the way for me to for me, at least for my level of buying and collecting, because I certainly don't make, you know, I'm a working stiff. I'll be working, you know, I'll be a 9-to-5er till the day I die. You know, probably even well into the last days I'll still have to be working, because that's just the reality, the brass tacks of things. You know, you're gonna have to work. You know, I was taught that at a very young age. You're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to do this. You're gonna have to do that. You're not special. You know, it's like I didn't come from the everybody's got a trophy generation. You know, there are winners and there are losers. We still played dodgeball. We still played tag. You know, it was exclusionary and encouraging victimization. But so that did, you know. So I'm, you know, I realize the reality of a lot of things, but it's nice to get to a point in life where you get older and, you know, you can actually get yourself something like this. You know, at some point you hope to be able to do something like that, and you should. You should definitely treat yourself. Anybody that, you know, has spent their life in the workforce or is currently in the workforce like myself, you know, you got to at least spend some money on yourself and at least do something for yourself at one point or another. You may not be able to do it now, but hopefully you get to a point where you can do it and make the sacrifice and do it. I certainly made the sacrifice and did that. Circumstances at the time, I had a pretty okay job. Rent wasn't too high at the moment at that time, and I was able to make things work. And obviously, you know, not minding to, you know, don't, you know, not, you know, caring to eat a couple of days of top ramen. So anyway, but yeah, that's, you know, that kind of where that lies. You know, I picked up one. You know, I have an expensive one, and it's you know, yeah, they're not cheap. Don't regret it. Do I think they're worth it? Absolutely. I think it shoots like a dream. It really is nice. It's nice to take care of it, have it, and you know, have it tucked away there. And you know, it's like kind of like every now and then at the range, you know. And I'm not afraid to run it. You know, we take rounds out. I mean, when I first had picked it up, I was actually working at an indoor range, and I used to just take it out and shoot it. You know, burn mags. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's still tight as can be. You know, hammer back and everything, no wobble, nothing going on there. You know, there's no real movement there. It still locks up tight, and it has a really slick look to it. Of course, you know, somebody mentioned some grips. I put my own nice custom grips on there. The modded type brown orange grips that I'm a big fan of. So anyway, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Do appreciate everybody that does come around here, hanging out with the show, staying, you know, half an hour of your time there. What is it where we're at, you know, 20 something minutes of your life that you will never ever get back. I do appreciate you, everybody that is like here right now, still at this, you know, show. You're still watching, and that means the world to me. You know, because of the channel. This coming up in July this year, the channel makes 10 years. 10 years of doing this. So that's cool. And honestly, I'll be totally honest with you. Like, have no intentions right now of stopping. Because obviously there's still people wanting to check out the content that I'm creating here on the tube and the Collectors Radio and everything. So even when we very seldomly we did that one video of the 686 or the 629, sorry, the Lou Horton stainless. Still, you know, a bunch of people clicked on that, enjoyed it, checked it out on all that. So also, you know, there's other things in the future. There's definitely something that's pretty neat that, and also a throwback and nostalgia that we're going to be bringing up. Hopefully sooner than later on the channel. You will see it first here on the Collectors Radio, and hopefully a close-up video we'll do. We'll probably have to do it to show you guys. So thanks for watching.